Welcome, dear listeners, to Anastasia's podcast, a show that takes you on a cosmic journey for the realms of intuition, divination, and mental health. I'm your host, Anastasia, and I'm thrilled to be your guide on this exploration of the mystical and of the mind. Welcome to a groundbreaking episode of Anastasia's podcast, where we venture into the realm of energy and consciousness with a true pioneer in the field. In this episode, we have the distinct honor of sitting down with Tom Paladino, the renowned Scalar Light energy expert. Tom Paladino is a visionary in the world of energy healing, and our conversation with him promises to be nothing short of transformative. Join us as we explore the cutting-edge world of Scalar Light, a revolutionary and holistic approach to energy healing and wellness. Discover the profound implications of Scalar Light for your physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Tom's expertise and insights will illuminate the potential of this extraordinary energy, shedding light on how it can catalyze healing and promote balance in our lives. This episode offers a rare opportunity to gain a deeper understanding of the mysteries of energy and how it intertwines with our existence. Whether you're already well versed in the world of energy healing or new to the concept, Tom Paladino's wisdom will captivate and inspire you. So, prepare to embark on a journey of enlightenment and self-discovery with Tom. But that's not all, guys. Tom offers us, all the listeners here today, a 15-day free trial on his website. So go to his website, Scalar Light, and you will be able to grab at this opportunity and try out Scalar Light energy for yourself. That's scalarlight.com. Scalar Light, SCALAR light.com. For anyone who wants to free trial of the Scalar Light energy healing, it's right there for you. And now, welcome to the exploration that promises to expand your horizons and transform your understanding of vital forces at play within and around us. So welcome, Tom. Hi, Tom. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Good day to you, Anastasia. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. I was so fascinated by what you were doing with your work when I started doing the research on scalar energy, and I've never heard of this before. And I think we need to dive into it and explain to the listeners what it actually entails and why it's different from any other energy. But first, I would like to introduce you to the show and to say a little bit about yourself and where it all started for you.
Okay. Once again, it's a pleasure to be here. I work with energy instruments. My name is Tom Paladino. I am a scalar energy researcher. Some people call scalar energy chi or prana or life force energy. There is an energy besides electricity. So to put this in context, I work exclusively with scalar energy instruments. I am a researcher. I've developed instruments, perfected instruments, and now I work with people around the world with these instruments. One of them is behind me. And I have incredible results in quantum healing, which is information. It's non-physical information that I offer to people. And frankly, it's a fascinating protocol that I've developed in which I can work with people around the world with quantum energy.
Right. So it's all distance healing and work that you do.
That's correct.
That's amazing.
And to add to that, why is it distance healing? I don't work with people in person. These instruments cannot work with a person in person. I work with photographs of people. This is my photograph. If I place my photograph inside that instrument, the instrument will find my quantum field. Everything is quantum. Everything is information. This is not a biological process. And in so doing, I can find anybody in the world through their photograph, one person or 20 people or 1,000 people.
Right. Well, my first question is, how is scalar information energy or quantum energy different from any other energy? Because the idea of quantum physics is that everything is energy. Is that correct?
Yes, but there's two energies. The initial energy is scalar energy. If you go to the very center of any star or our sun in our solar system, you'll find scalar energy. That's what powers the universe, scalar energy. And once scalar energy leaves the stars, leaves the sun, then it degrades into electricity and magnetism. So the first energy is scalar energy, and the derivative is what we're used to in this Earth, in this planet, electromagnetic energy.
Right. Okay. So what are the methods that you're able to grasp the energy and contain it into a technology?
There were two scientists, Nikola Tesla and Galen Hieronymus. Those are two scalar energy experts who developed scalar energy instruments. Now, I studied Tesla in theory and I studied Hieronymus in practice. He's an American inventor. I was able to meet with the Hieronymus family and work with them with these scalar energy instruments. So the instrument that I have behind me is a modified Hieronymus instrument. I'm not the original developer or inventor. Galen Hieronymus is. Let me explain to your audience what I mean. The instrument is on right now. You can see behind me two Tesla coils. The instrument is so strong, if I hold a light bulb close to the instrument, the ambient energy will illuminate the light bulb.
Wow. And
That
for those of
that
you who are, well, obviously we won't be able to see it, but the light bulb literally lights up from a distance when Tom is placing the light bulb close or nearby the instrument.
Now this is free energy. Again, I'm going to show you a light bulb that's in its factory packaging. And when I place that close to the instrument, it illuminates. Under the influence of the energy of the star, this is a miniature star.
Amazing. I guarantee you guys, the light bulb was in packaged and Tom just placed it near the instrument and it lit up. That is just amazing.
Yeah. So if we can do that with a light bulb, we can also do that with a person with a chakra balancing. If I place my photograph close to the instrument, my photograph, my quantum field is now experiencing this amount of energy. I am downloading white light, scalar light into my quantum field. You can only do this with the scalar energy instrument. If I place my photograph inside a car or a refrigerator, that's not the type of instrument for a quantum connection. This is a quantum instrument, allowing the download of quantum light. So it's the instrument that is so unique. This is invention. This is discovery. And this is what I have found with this instrument. I can access the other dimension, quantum, the realm of thought, non-physical spirit. Some people call it Om, prana, consciousness. That's the realm that I access, non-physical energy.
Right. And you can obviously light a light bulb with it, and you've shown me that you can do it with a photograph and restructure, I suppose, the person's yes. energy field as well. What are yes. the benefits of that restructuring?
Yes. Okay, so consider this white light going into my chakras or brain waves, downloading into my chakras or brain waves. That helps people with addiction or phobias. Some people say it has lifted their depression. Others have said that it makes them happy or gives them a greater sense of purpose, or it allows them to achieve goals, set goals, and achieve goals. So what is this? This is a thought reboot. This is a chakra reboot. We reprogram the thoughts and the chakras, which is very important to mental health. Now, this new science must be duplicated. What am I saying? I'm the only one in the world with this instrument. I am trying to show the world how this works. And eventually, many people will grasp this concept that there's two energies, hence there's two laws of physics, and scalar physics offers the world incredible promise.
Yeah, that's fascinating because you're talking about healing mental health with that, but there are also other probably potential with it, which is it possible to run a car with it or run like a
Yes.
refrigerator with it as well? Yeah.
Yes, thank you. So, if I've demonstrated free energy in my laboratory where I can illuminate a light bulb, eventually we should be able to illuminate a city. Eventually, we should be able to run a car with this energy. Now, going back 100 years and more, Nikola Tesla had a car that he ran on star energy. He took out the combustion engine, and apparently, he was able to power his car with scalar energy. To me, that's quite fascinating. And I've always said we should retrace the steps of Tesla and relearn what Tesla left us.
Absolutely. I mean, the man was a genius of a very unique kind. And it's a real shame though, when I think about free energy, when there are forces in the world, there are people in the world that don't want that to happen. They're very much against having free energy because they are generating a lot of income from energy that costs a lot of money. But it seems as though we have a lot of blockages on that path right now. The gas prices are going up. There's a lot of problems, a lot of issues. Do you think that leaves the potential for scalar energy to come in and replace some of the other energy that we're using?
Yeah, it has to, Anastasia. Why? Because the model is not working. First of all, oil, coal, and petrol, it is in short supply, and it's dangerous. Okay, wind farms have their purpose, but it likewise is very expensive. Nuclear reactors, some people are for it or against it. Now, all those are the way we power the world, and that's acceptable for the time being, but it's not sustainable. So what do we need? We need a new paradigm, a new model. We need to access the energy of the stars. The stars are the new power plant.
Right. And I've also heard on one of the podcasts that you were referring to using crystals like quartz and
Yes.
light them up.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to demonstrate. There's a quartz rod inside one of the Tesla coils. Anytime I work with quartz in conjunction with scalar energy, the quartz is an amplifier of a scalar wave. So this is a manufactured quartz rod, and it helps to magnify the scalar waves. Yes.
How fascinating. I mean, when I think of that, I start to think about ancient civilizations and the potential that they did use quartz crystals and things of that nature in order to generate or power or use energy because they were pointing certain pyramids
Yes.
and archaeology discovered that they were pointing those to certain stars for a reason. Could that be potentially because they were using it as energy?
Of course, of course. And so we go back to the notion of stars. The stars give the scalar energy, manifest the scalar energy, and for whatever reason or for whatever purpose,
Right.
civilizations have realized that star energy is life force and that the stars give us the energy of the universe. That's the key. And once we realize we can't look to the earth as the source of energy, such as coal and oil. Look to the stars. That's our source of energy.
What a different perspective, isn't it? It's almost as if we're draining the earth of its resources by using the energy, and there it is always out there for us, ready to be used. We just haven't really realized that yet. And you're right, it was probably did work for a while, but it's not sustainable. We all know it's not sustainable, just that we don't really have a different way of doing it. But you primarily use it for healing, is that correct?
That's correct. Eventually, if God gives me the wisdom, I want to use this to light up the world. That's one of my goals. So if I can light up a light bulb locally, I should be able to light up a light bulb at a distance. We'll see. That time is coming.
Right. Have you been experimenting with that? Do you light your
Yes.
house with it?
No, I've not been able to. I'll let the I'll give you an indication. if if you read the book of Revelations, it speaks about uh, a cube made out of quartz crystal, and
Hmm.
that's a miniature star. So I'm now in the process of manufacturing a cube out of quartz crystal that will serve to amplify this energy. So again, the source is scalar energy. The quartz is the amplifier. If I can perfect that quartz crystal cube, then I should be able to magnify the energy a millionfold, a billionfold, and I should be able to solve the energy crisis.
That sounds magnificent, especially aesthetically. The way that would
Yes,
look, it would be beautiful having
you're
it.
absolutely right. It's eloquent. Why? Keep in mind, this instrument can work with people around the world by way of their photograph without the need of telephone poles and satellites, satellite dishes, without the need of transformers, induction motors, the whole shebang. The universe is the infrastructure.
Yeah. Wow. So, what kind of ailments have you been able to heal at this point? Because I've heard that it's not everything yet that you've perfected, but there's some.
That's correct. When I work with this instrument, it has to be instructed. And if you have perfect instructions, you'll get perfect results. I'm going to hold up a photograph of Epstein-Barr. This is a common virus. If I were to place my photograph side by side the Epstein-Barr virus, there's a sharing of information. Now, keep in mind, this is not a chemical process. It's a sharing of light. Epstein-Barr communicates with my photograph. If I had Epstein-Barr, this instrument would instruct Epstein-Barr, okay, to break down, to decompose, to fragment in my quantum field. So in application, placing those two photographs side by side in the instrument, it's instructive energy. It's a download of white light. I'm finding Epstein-Barr in my quantum field and destroying Epstein-Barr, breaking down the molecular bonds. Always done in the information field. Why? Well, modern day science is working with physical reality. I work with non-physical reality, which is intelligence. I'd much rather work with intelligence information than chemicals. So we're going beyond, we're leaving the chemicals behind, the biochemical reaction. We're working with an informational process.
Mm. Wow. So, is there a reason why it doesn't work with certain other viruses? Because I know
I,
Epstein-Barr is very common, but it's most
yeah,
everyone has it, and it does create a lot of issues within us. I mean,
yeah,
just by the way, I just wanted to note that you look very healthy. You're glowing, and you look
thank
amazing.
you,
So,
thank
so
you,
something
thank you.
something is working there.
It's scalar energy. I've been working with myself my entire life. I'm 63 years of age, and I believe it's slowed down my aging
Oh
process.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow, you definitely look a lot younger than that.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold up another photograph of a virus, herpes virus. Any virus that I have a photograph of, this instrument will find that virus by intelligence and bring it to a state of chaos or disassemble it. It's not a chemical process. So to answer your question, I have 400,000 photographs of microbes,
Mm.
viruses, bacteria, fungi, protozoan, etc. And with those 400,000 species of microbes, I'm able to eradicate potentially over 400,000 germs, microbes. So
But just a
this is, yes, it is. This is science. The instrument does what you tell it to do. Okay. We're not, this is not guesswork. Science follows immutable laws. I'm holding up a photograph, a montage, if you will, of 15 viruses. This collage, if it's placed side by side my photograph, now I can download the energy, scalar energy of 15 viruses into my quantum field. It's not electromagnetic energy, it's always scalar energy. And if I had any of those 15 viruses, they would be destroyed.
Mm. What's
So
most
Go
Right.
ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was going to say what's most fascinating to me is when you bring up something like the herpes virus, which is known in the medical, in traditional medicine, not to, we don't have a cure for it. If you get it one time, you get it for the rest of your life.
Very good.
But now with the information field that you're talking about, you're able to
Yes.
restructure that and remove
Yes.
that virus. And have you had a lot of success from that? Have you had a few people that come to you specifically, for instance, with the herpes virus to heal it?
Yeah, we have on our website over 4,000 testimonies. Here's one of the testimonies. This is for herpes 6. This person tells us by way of a PCR test they no longer have a viral load for herpes 6. Here's common herpes 1. Here's a PCR test. No longer has this person have any symptoms of herpes. No longer does this person have a viral load for herpes. And it goes on and on with these test results. So the people are proving the merit of scalar energy. What am I saying? This is so cutting edge. This is so new. There's no university, there's no medical group, there's no research group that has my ability with these instruments. My work is unique. Now, what's the point? I'm trying to introduce this to the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we will link everything in the description box so that when people do want to look at those testimonies, it will be available for people to check it out, because I just saw it and seen it with my very own eyes. And those are test results that say negative for people who've had it as a positive before. I mean, that will change a lot for the lifestyle and for just everything when it comes to medicine.
Yes, you're right. Now, consider if I can treat one photograph through a collage, I can treat 20, 30 people. In my laboratory yesterday, I worked with 500,000 photographs. So we're already at the point of a global healing ministry. We're working with 500,000 people today by way of their photographs. This will simply snowball in the coming years.
So what you're saying is you can create a collage of a couple of or a bunch of your different clients, and then you can just use that same collage for one virus, for instance, that they've requested to heal from.
That's correct. So once again, if I show 15 viruses and I match that up with people, then everybody on that collage will be treated with the energy of those 15 viruses in the quantum field, and we could destroy potentially now 15 viruses, everybody photographed.
Amazing. So when a client does come to you, let's say, I'm not sure if you prefer the word client or patient. I don't think it really matters, but when no, it doesn't. When a person when they come to you and they say, I have, do they come to you with a specific issue, or do they just ask for general healing, or how does it normally work?
Yeah. I have a standardized program in which, and again, well, I'll explain. Number one, we can balance the chakras. If we can illuminate a light bulb, then we can illuminate the brain waves. We can illuminate the 7 chakras. That's step one. The second protocol, I can match up a photograph of a microbe, download that energy from the photograph into a person's quantum field, their energy field, and experience a non-chemical reaction, which is the disassembling or the eradication of the energy of herpes. Everything starts with energy. Chemicals, the physical body is the end product. So if we look at the energy, the life force of herpes, and negate it or bring herpes to a state of chaos, herpes ceases to exist. That's what I do with germs, with microbes. And then finally, I'm able to take photographs of vitamins. This is B4. Match it up to my photograph or anybody's photograph, and download a vitamin into people, the energy of a vitamin. So this is not food. This is not a supplement. It's vitamins by energy. The key is a photograph is a source of light. It never makes a mistake. My photograph is a source of light. There's no mistake with light. So working with a source of light, a vitamin, and people's sources of light, okay, their photographs, you can't make a mistake. It's flawless.
Right. So what you referring to by not making a mistake is that you can't really, I guess, overdose someone on a vitamin. It
Yes.
always give you the right amount.
Yes, it always will give us the right amount because the energy is self-regulating. The energy does the work. This is divine energy. I can't do this. How could I possibly work with 500,000 people a day, one person? I don't. It's God's energy. God does all this work.
How amazing. What are the other uses that you can think of besides healing ailments and generating energy? And are there any life problems that we can fix? For instance, someone feeling stuck or doesn't have meaning in life. Is there a possibility to do anything with that?
Yeah. So again, I use photographs. This is a photograph of dopamine. Why do I use photograph? Light, a source of light, a photograph cannot make a mistake. If I match up my photograph to dopamine, what's going to happen? The energy of dopamine enters into me. We have a program called endorphins, neurotransmitters. When people will submit their photograph for endorphins and neurotransmitters, they prove to be happier. By downloading dopamine and serotonin into people, we see that they're happier. Why? They have energetically now assumed that character, that signature of various neurotransmitters, endorphins. And in so doing, they're elated. They're happy. Well, this is much easier than working with chemicals. I don't administer a chemical. I administer the energy of dopamine. Big difference.
Right. The information encoded into the scalar light energy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Do you have any stories, particularly with other, or when you worked with yourself or with other people, that blew your mind?
Yeah, I'm going to share this, and this is in your neck of the woods. We're working with a clinic in India.
Right.
This is a photograph from Om Prakash, an HIV/AIDS clinic in Delhi, India. Now, 5,000 people have sent their photograph to us to be treated with Scalar Light. After working with these people, if they had a follow-up PCR test, nobody has a viral load. Nobody.
Wow,
Not one,
5,000 people.
not one person has a viral load.
That is absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, and here's one of the test results from Om Prakash. This person, after years of being infected with the HIV virus, according to them and according to their PCR result, this person reports no viral load.
Amazing. So obviously, I mean, you've had the idea that it would work, but when the results came in, how did you feel? What was the experience?
Elated, elated, uh, ecstatic. Now I want to share my results with the world. So I want to make this clear. I'm one researcher. I cannot do this alone. What I've discovered has worldwide implications. And I thank you for the ability to speak to your audience. I thank you for showing interest in my groundbreaking research. And on the other hand, point number two, what I am doing will prove to change the social order and eventually the economic order. So this is, most people would say this is a benefit to mankind, but some people are intimidated by this technology.
Yeah, there would be a number of people who are intimidated, but those would be mostly the people that are generating wealth from the technology that's been around for generations now. And fortunately, there's not that many of them. There's only a number of few. Unfortunately, they do have a lot of wealth and power. And I do believe, though, if it's divine energy, if it's divine light, then eventually we will come to a world where this is what it's going to be used. We can't avoid it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's you can't stop this movement. Once the world understands Tesla energy, it's game over, frankly.
Yeah. It's sometimes so important to go back into the past and to look at research from the past or from the art or mythology of the work or like what I use. I'm mostly my field of research and studies astrology, and I feel like that's also technology of the past that is completely misunderstood and probably misused a lot of the times as well. But now tell me, when you do work on healing somebody, how long does it actually take? What is the process like? Do you just put on the photograph and it takes 5 minutes, or is it something that's done over time?
Yeah, in one session, we can bring to a state of chaos, we can eradicate a virus such as the herpes virus. And then over a period of time, people say that the chakra balancing helps them. Some people stay on the program for 2 or 3 months because the chakra balancing helps them. Now, as far as nutrients, we need nutrition 24 hours a day. So I leave that up to people. Our sessions are open to the general public, and we allow people to decide how long they want to stay on the program. Some people who can afford it, they sign up for a year at a time.
Right, right. That makes sense. I mean, if you're seeing benefits from it, why not? Absolutely. It makes logical sense to me that this is something that works on information and energy, because I don't know if you've heard of the works of somebody who's like Dr. Joe Dispenza, for instance, and people of that kind. They use meditation in order to reprogram your own mind and to rewire your brain in a way that would indicate healing, positive thinking, probably increase of dopamine and serotonin as well. But this is cutting right to the chase, where you don't have to sit in meditation for hours and you can just use the light energy in order to do the same kind of work.
Yep, yep. Thank you so much. So, what is thought? What is meditation? It's a scalar wave. Do you ever think about a thought, how a thought can transcend time and space? How a thought, which is non physical information, can expand throughout the universe in a flash, in an instant. What's a thought? A scalar wave. What's this? A scalar wave instrument. And when we download scalar waves into our thoughts, into our mind, into our psyche, the two coincide. You can reprogram your thoughts through a thought instrument. So what other people are teaching today about positive thinking and about meditation, that's true and accurate. That's the non-physical field. This is the quantum field. Once the world realizes that there is non-physical science, they'll be enthralled with this.
Absolutely. And I mean, I've just been mind blown throughout this whole conversation. But I do want to go back to the quantum field and maybe explaining that to some people who don't really understand what quantum physics is, or quantum field, or the field of information is. Would you be able to give us some
Yeah,
info?
by all means, from my perspective, quantum is non-physical. It's intelligence. Okay. When I speak of a thought, don't think of the brain, which is an organ. Think of what it produces, or what the mind produces, which is non-physical thought or creativity or imagination or meditation or prayer. Those instructions really decide the course of our life and the course of the lives of people around us. The way you think, the way you feel, eventually projects itself into the physical universe, into physical action. So thinking and feeling are scalar waves. The mind and the heart are scalar vessels. So what's the point? This is the quantum field. Everybody has a mind, everybody has emotions. And that is the non-physical instructions, the field, the quantum field, the if you will, the scalar wave that we are able to create through thinking, our thoughts, and our feelings. So everybody, and I've said this many times, everybody is a scalar energy expert, and many people don't realize that.
Right. Well, that makes sense on that level. And I think it's just when you remove a lot of the fancy terminology, it's really something that's simple, we do use scalar light energy when we are just daydreaming, I suppose, or fantasizing about something. Like that would be one of the examples. Is that's what you were meaning?
Yeah, exactly. Do you ever? I always think about thinking, and I say to myself, how is it that I can even think or be creative? How is it that I can solve a problem? Where's that information coming from? It's divine information. It's from God, and it allows us to solve problems, to be creative, to meditate, to pray. So, and many people are starting to realize just how powerful prayer is, or meditation. It will change you. It will change your immediate surroundings. It will change the people that you broadcast that upon.
Absolutely. Well, in a lot of Buddhist meditations as well, there's a meditation on non-attachment to what you are, and you're meditating on the fact that this is just a body. And when you're thinking about I am, who is the I am, right? That's the question. Who is thinking the thoughts? Who is thinking of the ideas? Who is being creative? I have on my desk here a book by Julia Cameron, and she is a very a very prominent person in the creative field. And her book, The Artist's Way, teaches how to tap into your creativity regardless of what career you're into. And the basis of it is the fact that it is all creative energy from the creator. It's divine energy that we're all using. So now back to creativity, because a lot of my listeners are creatives in some sort of sense. If you are going through a creative blockage and a person comes to you, I'm going for a really dry spell creatively, what can I do in order to find the muse again? Would you be using the photographs of dopamine and serotonin again? Or would you be using something else to bring out that creativity in the person?
Yeah, very good. So in our standardized program, this is what we're going to offer to your audience. We do offer also dopamine and serotonin in those sessions. What am I getting at? I don't diagnose. This instrument is able to heal because it's divine energy. When people come to me, I work with those three processes: the pathogenic cleanse, the chakra balancing, and the nutrient program. Why? Those three protocols are ideal for everybody. This is, if you will, global healing. It's intended for everybody, regardless of your circumstance in life, regardless of your health condition. So I have a wellness program that might prove to be beneficial to heal disease. I don't know. I have to leave that up to the person. To be clear, I'm not a medical professional. I'm a quantum professional. And I don't work in the medical community. I work in the quantum universe. It's entirely different. So are there health benefits to what I'm doing? Yes. But I have to allow people to make those statements through testimonies.
Right. Are there any other stories you would love to share with the testimonies? Anything else that comes to mind?
Yeah. People in the past have sent us photographs of kangaroos. We've been able to help kangaroos with bacterial infection. People frequently send in photographs of their pets. We can help their pets balance their chakras and eliminate parasites in their pets. We've worked with elephants in the past. I've worked with a tortoise. I've worked with birds. I'm working presently with the ohia tree in Hawaii that's experiencing a fungal blight, a fungal infection, and we're able to eradicate ceratocystis from the ohia tree.
That I find the most interesting, that we can heal the earth by using this energy as well, because there's a lot of places on earth, a lot of nature that feels like it's dying from either the lack of attention or the overpopulation or the overusage of it. And we, as a humanity, we've really forgotten our responsibility to take care of the planet. So that is incredible that you can work with a tree, and you do it all from your lab as well. So there's no need to travel anywhere.
That's absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct. So this is the key. Now that we can accommodate millions of people by way of a photograph, it's safe, it's easy. Everybody has a cell phone. And it's a guaranteed process because I'm working with light. Well, this should be considered as the new global quantum healing paradigm. That's what I want.
Right. Well, I feel like the next question is a bit redundant, but I feel like I should ask it anyway. If you don't believe in scalar light, does it still work?
Yes. The kangaroo that I treated in Australia had no idea I was treating it with a scalar energy instrument. But the kangaroo feels much better, and the kangaroo no longer has a bacterial infection. Now, that the point, I'm not being facetious, the point I'm making is animals and infants are not aware that we're treating them by way of their photograph. So those animals and infants are a good test group to say that, yes, we have favorable results with animals and infants.
And that brings me to my next point. There's obviously, when it comes to an infant and the mother being worried about an infant and her sending her a photograph, there's obviously consent there. But what if somebody wants to heal their grandfather or their grandmother from a disease and they haven't gotten their permission? How do you feel about that?
We want people to agree to this. If you're of the age of reason, if you're an adult, you should be able to make that decision. That's why we offer free sessions, but we tell people just read the literature and then send in your photograph and make sure that you have everybody's permission before you send in anybody's photograph.
Right, right, absolutely. Well, I'm interested. So we'll let you know, guys, how that goes for me in the next month or so. But I definitely am willing to try and see what kind of changes might happen because in my personal journey with health, especially, like I don't think that old of a person, but I've had a lot of interesting things like migraines, for instance. That's been one of my biggest issues. And one time I've had it for 6 months, don't stop. So if I knew you back then, that could have eliminated a lot of suffering probably for me. Have you experienced healing migraines and things like that? Do you remember anything like that?
Some people say that we've been able to help them with migraines, but I can't say it's a cure because I don't have the evidence that would help everybody.
Yeah, and I think the listeners and myself included will respect that this is experimental and this is still in its trial stages. And I'm sure people who are going for something are keen to try it. But I believe you also mentioned that there's some illnesses that you haven't been able to tackle yet, and you're still looking into it.
Yeah, cancer's out of my reach. Do I think scalar energy offers a promise to cure cancer? I do, but I can't do that yet. That's not my ability. Other genetic diseases, I think we can reprogram the genome, frankly, with scalar energy, but I'm not there yet.
Do you know why? Have you thought about that? Because virus is a different type of, I suppose, encoding in the information, right? Rather than a cancer is not really a virus.
Yeah, that's correct. I can break down very good. I can break down the DNA of the herpes virus, but I cannot correct the DNA of a person. If I could correct our DNA, I could cure cancer and I could cure genetic disease.
Mm. Are you experimenting with that as well at the moment?
Yes,
Right.
yes, yes. And I'll let you know. You'll be the first one I'll let you know.
Thank you. We don't have to get into anything you don't not ready to get into yet. I completely understand the researcher's mind and
Yeah,
being in the midst of it.
yeah, it all boils down to God giving me the wisdom. I've got the instrument. Now, how do I apply this energy? Keep in mind, we're at our infancy now with this new science. This is the science. And you have to learn this and you have to have experience and know how to work with the energy and control the energy. Well, if God gives me that wisdom, I should be able to correct DNA.
We'll talk about God and your relationship with that sort of side of things. Would you be open to sharing? Do you meditate? Do you pray? Is there any
Well,
way you
I,
connect?
I pray, I meditate every day. Before I start treating people by way of their photograph, I pray. I come from a Christian background. I believe that this energy is from God. I believe this is Christ energy, what some people might call Christ consciousness.
Nice
I
concept.
believe that you have to have a cause that produces the universe. What is the cause? It's light, it's energy. The one thing that's fundamental is energy, light.
Mm.
Light energy obeys the laws of science. Those laws are immutable. Everything derives from light. So what's the point? When you work with light, you're in control of nature.
Right. Well, I understand that if this is a little bit private, that's okay. You don't have to share. But is there a way that you recommend someone to engage in prayer, or is there just a classic way that you pray that comes from a Christian background?
By uniting with God. Prayer is when you unite with God, when you communicate with God. It's very simple. God has given everybody that ability. I would highly recommend that people do that on a daily basis.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I feel like my day definitely feels better and has a different sort of aura around it when I do pray and engage in that conversation every morning. I don't come from a Christian background. I don't really know what religion I call my religion to, but I do know what I pray to, and it is usually Christian beings. So I suppose it's probably as close to Christianity as it comes because I didn't grow up with it. So I had to come to it on my own. And I think some people that are listening, they do come to their own faith on their own as well. So it's always interesting to hear how other people connect with that. And then you say you meditate as well. Is there a particular meditation that you do?
I pray the rosary every day. That's a great meditation.
Yeah.
I'd recommend that to people.
Yeah. The counting of the rosary. Yeah. I've actually never tried that. That might be my my personal next experience with the connection with the divine. So that's beautiful. And I think that's important. I think without
It is. It is.
that's what
It's very important.
puts the bases onto that scalar energy as well for you.
Now, I'll also make the statement we're going into an age of great technology. We've seen that already. Great technology must have a traveling partner, which is great morality. The stronger the technology, the stronger the prayer life must be. You've got to look at the technology in use today and you say, well, we could make or break it with this technology. We could benefit the world or destroy the world. Keep in mind my admonition. Great technology must be accompanied by great morality.
I 100% agree with that statement. I feel like the we're still learning compassion in the world, obviously, because we have a lot of wars are still happening and a lot of people are suffering, and the technology is really going a little bit too fast for our self-development, and maybe we'll catch up with that as well, or maybe it's meant to be that way. But creating something like AI or creating something, anything in robotics, and waking up that part of our consciousness, I feel like, is without the marriage of having a relationship with the divine can be very destructive. And there is potentially, I like I said, I'm always skeptical with everything. I believe in everything 90%, and then I'm always open to disagreeing to it. But I'm more inclined to believe that there were ancient civilizations that did destroy themselves through a technology that they didn't know how to use, or they did know how to use it, but they didn't have what you're saying, what you calling it morality. I'm using the word compassion, which I think is the two sides of the same coin.
Yep. Uh, it is. And we're to that point in advancement in human achievement that you're absolutely right. Where is AI, artificial intelligence, going? Nobody knows. But it's a powerful tool, but it better be, there better be parameters to using that tool.
Absolutely. And we don't really have the moral parameters at the moment. Everyone's just jumping on it and trying it out and experimenting with it. But having it in the wrong hands or with somebody who hasn't done the work on themselves yet. And again, I'm not saying it with judgment. I'm just saying it to say that some people don't have the right intention for their own reasons. They haven't done the healing work yet. That can be, again, destructive for themselves and for the humanity at large. And there's a lot of intelligent people, and that's the dangerous part. High intelligence without high morality can can be quite dark.
Yes, of course. Let's use this example of nuclear warheads. Well, there's a lot of technology that goes into a nuclear warhead. Now, it's a ghastly consequence. So, are we ever going to use those nuclear warheads? Well, I hope not. I certainly hope not.
Yeah, and it's like the phrase rings in my mind when Oppenheimer did see nuclear warheads for the first time in action, and he used the phrase from Bhagavad Gita, which was, "I am the destroyer. I am death. I'm the destroyer of worlds." He had that realization as soon as he saw it, but it was too late to turn around, and there was nothing he could do to stop the motion of it.
Great morality must accompany great technology. And we're not necessarily seeing that today. So this is a clarion call to the world that we inherit what we ask for. And if you're asking for a world of AI, that's what you're going to get. And you better be able to control it. You better be able to see what's right and wrong with AI. Everything has to be used appropriately. It's a tool, it's a gift. Don't misuse the gift.
Absolutely. And you're definitely using the gift in the best, most amazing way possible to help people and to heal them. And that's really admirable. So thank you so much for your work and for what you do. It's
Thank
nice.
you. We resonate. We're of kindred spirits. So thank you, Anastasia.
Thank you.
I want to change the world. I want to see the world benefit from technology. This is one of the technological achievements. Tessa Hieronymus, my achievement. But the point is to help humanity. This is not designed to make a lot of money or to control an industry or to subjugate people. It's designed to liberate people.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people would feel liberated once some of the diseases that they thought they would have forever, it's just such a weight lifted off someone's shoulders, such a change of lifestyle and change of meaning. And yeah, I agree with you on the technology front. Absolutely, 100%. I feel like when we create something, even when a person, I don't know if you have children, you probably have children, but when you bring a person into a world or an art form or some sort of technology, you think like, oh, it's part of me. And then you quickly realize it has nothing to do with you anymore. You've created and now it's on its own and it just does what it wants to do. And that's the danger of any sort of creation is that's where the morality is important, not because just morality from the creator, but a whole general wide population morality and work on compassion.
Thank you so much. So if the world takes heed to this conversation, the world will be better for it. We'll have a better world. That's what I envision. And I finally resolved that scalar energy. My hope is that this technology will liberate mankind. I've said that so many times. I see the suffering around the world. How can we solve problems? Well, I'm solving problems right now. I'm able to eradicate, if you will, vicious viruses. Do I see that this energy, this field is enhanced in the future and that we can extrapolate from this? Of course. This has this has global implications. That's the purpose of our talk, to introduce people to this new science.
Absolutely. And I love that it goes back to Nikola Tesla. I mean, he's done so much for the world, and it's a real shame that not all of his technology has has been seen by the world yet. And I feel like what you're doing is amazing work by bringing it to our consciousness, to our awareness.
We're getting there with people like you. We're getting there. If you look at his career, Nikola Tesla had 300, 400 inventions, maybe more. Now, who can hold a candle to that? I don't have 300 inventions. So God gave him incredible supernatural gifts. And for what reason? Tesla was a humanitarian. He's a good person. Okay, Tesla would not give that intelligence to a wicked scientist. He was a very friendly, benign character.
Absolutely. What do you think about when people who don't have the best intentions get inventions or technology in their hands? Like, what do you think that in terms of divine plan?
Well, we see that today, sadly. We see many people have technology in their hands and they're using this to control, to if you will, hurt people or to subjugate people. There's divine will, and God allows people to have their human will. So people are allowed to act freely. But the lesson here is you always have to have some type of moral compass. You have to have some type of code of morality. Even as a scientist, you have to have a code of morality. Do we see scientists? Do we see technocrats with that code of morality? Not necessarily today. So the lesson is great technology must be matched with great morality. And the greater the technology, the greater the need for morality. I hope the world is starting to realize this. Otherwise, this is going to be terrible. The consequences are going to be absolutely terrible in the future.
Absolutely agree. And I think the world is hopefully realizing it. I think there's pockets of people that are, and they do have influence. And we will hear their voices, we'll see their faces, probably broadcasted into things like podcasts and YouTube videos or workshops or any other sort of thing. But I just want to thank you again, Tom, so much for coming on. And I know it's really early for you, so I really appreciate that you being here at this time. Are there any final thoughts you'd like to throw in?
Yes. I want your audience to try our 15-day free session. Go to the website scalarlight.com, SCALAR, scalarlight.com. Sign up and send your photograph in with your family's permission. You can send their photo. The
Right.
age of the photo doesn't matter. What's the point? You have to experience this to understand it. You have to experience this to feel it. So the only way I can prove this to you is by you proving it to yourself. Now, if you send me a photograph here in the United States, I live in the US, how is it possible that we can make that connection? Well, you prove it as to how your health is benefited. That's the only way I can get this information out there. Again, I'm one researcher. So the best means to promote and the best means to advertise is by way of the 15-day free session. That's it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And just like we said in the beginning, 15 days, is there a promo code that people can use?
No, just go to the website. It's up there 24 hours a day. This is my way of introducing Tesla technology, quantum technology to the world. I want to treat everybody in the world for free at least once.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. And just like we said in the beginning, 15 days of free session, guys, for everybody. Try it. Let me know because I'm interested. I'm going to try it myself. I'm going to send my friends to try it. And we'll gather together. We'll share our stories and we'll figure out how it's been for everyone. But thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. And we've been talking for an hour and all the information will be in the description box. So for you guys, it'll be easy to find. But for now, guys, thanks for coming on another show. And that's all she wrote.